Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slappin Kpop podcast. I am Kayla, and with me today is Sammi.
Hello.
And Lucas.
Hello.
And today we are here to commandeer Dan's show, First Contact, to talk about NCT.
Yay!
NCT.
To celebrate NCT 2020.
Yes. And the format for this is gonna be a little bit weird because NCT as a concept is a little weird. So instead of going through
format out the window.
So because NCT 2020 now has 23 members, we cannot go through every member individually because that's too many people. So we're just gonna go through the units.
If you would like to hear people talk about 23 individual boys and how boring that is, watch our Island episodes.
How many people were originally in Ireland?
23.
Exactly? Damn.
Yep.
There's a 2.5 hour episode on that if that's the kind of content.
Oh yeah,
that
because
was
we
our
went
old
through
longest
literal
episode.
You had like a PowerPoint presentation of all of the
Dan
made
made
a
flashcards.
a flashcard PowerPoint.
It is the only
presentation.
reason I know the members of N- as well as I do.
Wow. Because it only took you how many years to learn all the members of NCT?
Maybe like 2 months.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Like casual months.
Yeah, casual months. Yeah.
Yeah, because also NCT has been constantly adding members, and so like the amount of like people you have to learn at once
that's also
it's
true.
not
it's
like
constantly evolving.
Yeah, it's weird. So,
we'll talk about how we learned NCT.
Yes,
there's a spot for it later.
We'll have it later. So, for those of you who aren't aware, but I'm pretty sure everyone's pretty aware of this, NCT is a boy group under SM Entertainment, and the concept of the group is essentially they can keep adding as many people as they want to the group, and then they can promote in their own units, and those units are, some of them are fixed, some of them are rotating. Really depends.
Really,
it's really
I think
that
everything is rotating.
Really, anything
no
is.
NCT
You can do whatever
has
you
ever
want.
been fixed.
It's just whatever the fuck SM wants to do.
Wavy. The only one who hasn't had any member changes is Wavy. Wavy has been fixed, but that's it. Everything else is.
Who knows what'll happen?
Who knows what else is happening?
They'll add 5 people.
We have no idea.
Mm-hmm. So the first debut of NCT was NCT who debuted on April 9th, 2016. And one of the first songs was Without You, and that had Taeil, Jonghyun, and Jaehyun, and then Kun was in the Chinese version of that song. And then very shortly after, on April 15th, 2016, The Seventh Sense was released, and that had Taeyong, Mark, Jaehyun, Ten, and Doyoung. And those were the first members of NCT who were introduced to the world. So that was what we had to start off with. I guess if we're just going to go chronologically, after NCT
let's
do chronologically by route. Yeah, by unit.
By unit. Let's do chronologically by let's just finish NCT out.
So, well, then after 2 years, they had another NCT comeback, which was that was technically NCT 2018. And in that, one of the songs was Boss, and then Lucas and Jungwoo officially made their debut then.
And that's all that NCT has done.
Until 2020.
Until 2020.
Until 2020.
And now technically, all 23 of them, are in NCT.
NCT because
for some
this
reason.
album was just weird combinations of people. Like,
but that they claimed were
Make-A-Wish.
NCT, yeah.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish has a random assortment of people I never thought I'd see
Every
together,
single song
and that's
has
NCT.
random assortments of people. And I think part 2 is going to be even worse.
I
Apparently.
think so. I
that'll be
think
fun.
this NCT 2020 is technically just categorized as NCT and not NCTU. Because that's, that's what it is on Spotify, at least.
Okay, so I think the album is by, in quotation marks, NCT. But if you look at the songs,
each individual song is an
like,
NCTU
because they do the
unit.
thing like if you have like a feature and they have like the who's the feature NCTU, and it's just the NCTU group is just the people that are in the song. So now technically there's a different NCTU subunit for every different song that's on the album that's not a subunit song, aka Dream, Wavy, or 127. So I think technically everyone's debuted in U now, because they kind of made it that way so that everyone could be in U. And then I'm confused. But
I think so.
everyone is in this album, thus everyone is in you, thus now you.
It's not
NCTU is
confusing
kind
at
of,
all.
NCTU is kind of
is
stupid.
just NCT.
It's not.
Period.
It's not
whoever
really
they want
anything
in the
important.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we
The
actually
really-
explain what
the
U is?
true
Because
units-
I don't think we have.
It's
NCTU
really
is
stupid.
basically they make a song and then they just pick random
They can
members
pick
from
whoever they want
the
to be in
group
the
of
song.
NCT to put it in. But
Well, yeah.
until this album, that didn't really matter because it was just like pick 127 people plus Mark. But now it kind
Well,
of
Mark
is
is
Mark's also
actually
in
127.
127.
yeah. Well, but he was like the only like half dream member that I kind of counted like that wasn't just
Headshot's
100%.
Oh,
And
no,
Headshot's also in
not
127.
Hee-chan,
Headshot's in 127 as well, but he's also hasn't been in U up till now.
Nope.
So
But also, Baby Don't Stop is technically an NCTU song, and that only
It is.
has Taeyoung and 10.
10.
it's
Yeah.
literally
So, like,
whatever
just
they
stupid.
want to.
It's
They can
whatever
just decide to
random
release
members
any
they think
song.
they want in this song. Basically.
What
It
what
is-
NCT
it's
members
not
do we want to
really a
promote this
unit.
time?
NCTU
Yeah.
is not really a unit. I think it's just a
isn't.
blanket
It's just-
term.
It's just a bumblefuck of nothing
Yeah.
that
Because
does
they
not
don't
make
want to
sense.
call it NCT, because technically everything is NCT, so they just make up you as just whatever the
Sure.
song needs.
They needed a way to categorize it, so
Yeah.
that's
That's
what we
not
got.
just saying NCT.
Doesn't U stand for something too?
New Culture Technology United.
Boo.
Yep. So that's what that is.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. So NCTU stands for NCTU or Neo Culture Technology United, which is I think very stupid.
It's very
But
stupid.
welcome to the theme of NCT.
NCT is a stupid concept.
Okay. Do we want to move on to 127?
We should move on to 127.
Okay, so the next subunit after NCTU that we're going to talk about is 127. And 127 debuted July 7th, 2016 with the song Fire Truck. And in the song was Taeyong, Mark, Taeil, Jaehyun, Winwin, Haechan, and Yuta. So this was obviously after NCTU, and the three members that joined after, or NCT as a general, were Winwin, Haechan, and Yuta. And then in January 2017, they had their song Limitless, and that added Doyoung, who was in NCTU but now added 127, and new member Johnny, who was added into 127. And then in October 12th of 2018, they had their regular comeback, and they added Jungwoo to 127.
And mind you, we're not going
It's also
through all
should
of
be
the comebacks.
it's
These
of
are just
note.
when people were added.
Yeah, when people were members.
Yeah.
These are not the comebacks. Yeah, these are
are
just
not all the
when people were members.
comebacks.
It should be also of note that when after Simon Says is when they essentially pulled Win-Win out of the group because he got put into
Booted
Wavy
into
and
China.
spends all
He got
his
thrown
time in
back
Wavy
to
now.
China. I think it's official that he's
considering
out.
he was not in the 127 song on 2020, I don't think
Yeah.
he's in the group anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
also
think the
not
fact
on. I heard he's not on their fan cafe anymore. Which, if
I
they
don't
were
think
putting
so.
him back in 127, they would have added him back in because they put Mark back into Dreams fan cafe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
Also-
he
if
was
Mark's
just
in
out.
the new Dream song and Win-Win's not on the 127 song, I think it's official that he's out. But not
He's
that
just
they
not
would give
there.
him lines anyway.
He would just
True.
be a presence
Not that
there.
I'm salty. Totally not salty.
We're
Totally not
salty.
salty about that at all.
But
It's fine.
127 is the technically Korean unit of.
Even though they're the only unit that's done
Yeah.
Japanese songs as well.
Yep.
Also, not
has
all
English
members are
versions of
Korean,
songs.
and it's a mess.
Listen.
Basically, every single statement or like truth we have here has 17 asterisks, technically 23 asterisks
23
next to everything. So take everything we do and do your own research because this would be a 7
It's a
Also,
episode.
they
disaster.
will be contradicted 8 times in the
Yeah.
4-year history of this group. So
Yeah.
just
So-
go into it and just accept whatever happens. Just accept
Because
it.
when 127 debuted, SM Entertainment was like, oh yeah, this is our first fixed unit. Next comeback adds 2 more members. 1 year later adds another member, kicks out another
and then
member. It's
has
like,
comebacks in the middle where people get lulled into a false sense of security that it's finally fixed. And
yeah,
then
and it's
nope.
like, and then it's like, oh, this is our Korean only promoting group.
Even though at
They have
debut they
Yuta.
have a Chinese member and a Japanese member in Win-Win and Yuta, and also have the Canadian in Mark and a guy from the US in Johnny. So Korean, quote unquote.
Also, the man
It
who lived
made
in
full
Connecticut.
English versions
Jaehyun.
and full
Jaehyun.
Japanese songs. So like,
Yeah.
Yep. With one member that speaks Japanese. But then again, Yuta is the only SM Japanese idol until 3 weeks
2020.
ago.
Yeah. Shotaro. But yes. 127, technically the Korean unit, but not really. Also,
technically, but not really.
since we explained what the U comes from, the 127 is the 127th parallel, right?
Which is where Seoul is.
Yeah, it's the 127th parallel, which is the line that Seoul is across. So that's like what the 3 random numbers are, if no one knew. That's what it's supposed to be. Which I mean,
I
if we're
don't
gonna-
hate it.
It's not
I
the
don't hate
worst.
it.
It's like,
Also,
I'm pretty fine with it.
Neoculture
Once I knew what it
Technology
meant.
127 is just a choice.
Yeah, Neoculture Technology 127 is a choice. But once it's mostly explained, it's like, I got where you got it from. I don't hate it.
I get it.
I don't love
hate
it.
There's worse. It's not
There's way worse.
B173. It's not Bay 173.
It's not. It's close, but
not.
it's not.
It's not.
It's
EpiPen.
close, and I just realized how close those two names are saying them out loud next to each other. August 25th, 2016, we get another debut with a new unit, NCT Dream, which is just the youngest members of NCT, which had Mark, Haechan, Jeno, Jisung, Jaemin, Renjun, and Chunla. And they debuted with Chewing Gum, one of the greatest debut songs of all time.
So cute.
And then
Okay.
in September 3rd of 2018, after We Go Up, Mark graduated. Because originally,
quotation marks graduated.
Quotation mark graduation.
Quotation mark graduated. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Because originally, this was gonna be... SM was finally gonna have a group with a graduation system, as they have tried for like 3 times already.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Mark graduated because I think he reached like 19 Korean age, and they were going... But
Oh,
the
it's
thing
at,
is,
they were supposed to graduate at 20 Korean age.
20 Korean
Yeah.
age, 19
Yeah.
regular age. And so Mark graduated, but they finally got to a conundrum, I think last year, because
They were too popular.
most of Dream was supposed to... It was only going to end up being Jisung and Chunla, because all the other ones are the same age. And I don't think they were going to make Dream a duo. So they
Dream
made
was
the
also
decision...
too popular of a unit together
Dream
that
got
they
very
weren't about to do
popular.
that.
Yeah, and then so they decided to make it they stopped the graduation system, but it was then really up in the air whether or not Mark gets to rejoin. So like there were a couple comebacks after that where Mark didn't rejoin, and now in NCT 2020 he's back in. So now he's
Apparently,
back in.
And I
don't know
think
if
the
this is
concept now
permanent.
is that all of the other members are fixed in Dream, and then Mark can like come and go as he pleases. He can like sometimes
is
be
just,
there,
like,
sometimes he's not there.
Mark is the
Mark
so
is an
NCT Dream is
ethereal
a family,
being.
and Mark is essentially their stepbrother who comes every other weekend and on holidays.
Can we just also make the analogy that Mark is the ethereal being of NCT, that he just
Yes.
is everywhere and
he
does
is just
everything?
everywhere at all times.
Yes, he is
He
just
does-
the spirit.
He's like
is
right in
everywhere
if you
at all
if you
times.
check our Twitter account for our NCT Venn diagram, Mark's like right in the middle of the
Mark
Venn
is the
diagram
center
because
of
we,
the
he's
Venn
in
we
all
made
the
the
units.
Venn diagram, and we're like, okay, where does Mark go? Let's put him center, and make the entire
and then
thing
we'll
revolve
make
around
everything
him,
else around him.
because that was the easiest way
Because
to do
not
it.
only is he in U and Dream and 127, he's also
And
in
Super
Super
M.
M.
Super
Yeah.
M, which we are not getting into. We are not.
does not-
If you're here
This
to
does not
hear
include
our
Super
opinions
M.
on Super M, you don't need them. No, we're done.
We are done.
That's neither here nor there, and I don't want to talk about Super M right now.
No, if you want to hear our opinions on Super M, check out our Q3 podcast. Lots of
We
Super
go
M
on a
opinions
20-minute rant and just yell at each other a little bit.
there.
Okay.
Moving
on.
Moving on, NCT 2018. So, like it sounds, NCT 2018 was released in 2018. And the concept of this whole album was essentially to put all of the members who had already debuted in NCT together on an album. And so this isn't to the level of NCT 2020, which we're going to talk about later, where like we're just going to stick random members in every song. Essentially, every unit got their own title track. So 127 got a song and Dream got a song. And then we had 2 U
Boss
songs, which
for
was
You.
Boss, that Lucas and Jungkook were in, and then Baby Don't Stop, which was where the 10 Taeyong do it duo song. And then we had Black on Black, which was the Everybody Is in It song, but it was like it's mostly a performance
It's just a
song.
performance, yeah.
It's only got like 4 people who actually
song.
sing, but everybody is in the performance.
Yes.
Even though not everyone actually does something in the performance.
No, because that was officially
A lot of them
Koon's
are backup
debut.
dancers.
This was Koon's debut in the group. He does not get to sing
Well,
at
no,
all.
Koon was in the Chinese version of Without You, and then he's in this.
And then he
Poor
doesn't sing
Koon.
at all. He is in the Black on Black performance. That's the first thing Koon has done in NCT, really.
In a while. Yeah. Poor Koon.
Yeah. Also on that, I'm looking at the album right now.
There
we
was
got
Yesterday,
those-
which was another, like,
We have Yesterday,
whatever.
Timeless? What is that?
It's a ballady thing.
That's
Is
a
it a
ballad.
thing? I don't remember that. Without
It's a
You
ballady
is
thing with the ballad unit.
Well, they
the
just put the
singer.
They have
You
Without
song,
You and Seventh Sense.
and
And
then
then, oh yeah,
Dream in a
Ten's
Dream
Dream in a
is
Dream
on there.
is on this too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is,
Okay.
this isn't as exciting of a concept as NCT 2020 was, because everyone is still relatively in their own units, and
Yeah,
even in
everyone
the
is still
NCTU,
segregated.
Still pretty segmented.
even
and,
the
like, you know.
NCTU songs that are on here, they're essentially just your Jungwoo and Lucas and 10 with your 127 members, which like isn't a weird concept or anything.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
not.
the
It's
Dream
kind of.
members so rarely they kept the Dream members, just except for Mark and Haechan, just so like segregated in their little corner. Because they're also not any of the people that even get to sing or do. But the few people that do anything in Black on Black, the Dream members are not one of them.
No, they're
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Jisung gets center for one of the dance break things.
True.
And
that's
I
about
think that's
it.
it.
That's it.
I think that's it. I'm trying to think if any other Dream member does anything. I don't
No.
think so. Do one of the Dream rappers get a section or no?
No. It's only
Mark
like
does.
Taeyong,
It's only
Lucas,
Taeyong,
Mark.
Lucas, and
Taeyong,
Mark.
Lucas,
That's
and Mark.
it.
That's
and then
it.
10 gets a dance break, and then
That's it.
Jisung gets to be center for a little bit, and I think
I think Jeno gets center
Jeno
for a
maybe
little
gets
bit
to be
too.
center.
If you start analyzing who gets the center in Black on Black,
Yeah.
it's like we're really in the weeds.
Look,
Of,
we're,
like,
we're
Yeah.
just trying
That's
to
what
get
I'm-
some
that's what we're
scraps
trying to
for
prove.
NCT
Yeah.
Dream.
Well, that's
We're
proving,
trying to get
you
some
know.
scraps.
So Dream got pretty stuffed on 2018 is what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So.
they had Go, which was like very different concept for them, which was kind
It
of
was not
exciting.
even an amazing song, so It's like,
it
yeah.
was the first time that Dream actually looked like they were like
It's like
growing
127 and Dream like just switched concepts for 2018.
yes,
Yeah,
you got the
because-
wrong song.
yeah, because Dream got Go and then NCT 127 got Touch.
Which is very different.
We're just gonna switch concepts for an album. It's fine.
Yep. And then so we want to move on to Wavy,
Yes.
Yes.
Our favorites.
All right.
favorite
yes.
Which
So-
I don't even think that should be surping at this point.
No, I
No,
think
this
we've
is-
said it multiple times. Like we don't make it a secret.
No. So in January of 2019, so January 17th, 2019, they debuted a Chinese group for NCT, which we're not even going to talk about the whole SM, not SM, label V garbage that Wavy is under, because that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Nope.
But
Wavy is an NCT unit.
it's an NCT. Well,
don't
now it's
care.
100%. It was a little bit more
True.
questionable in the past, but now it's like 100% that they're in NCT. They're like a full-fledged subunit of NCT. And they debuted January 17th, 2019 with Takeoff. And that had Lucas, Kun, Win-Win, 10, and then 3 new Chinese members, Hendry, Xiaojun, and Yang Yang. And yes, they are now probably our favorite of the subunits. At least on this, yeah, I think generally agreed on this podcast that we all believe.
Yeah, because I was
Wavy's
gonna say not
probably
even
favorites.
just the subject, because I know Dan loves them too. So
Yeah,
like,
I was
yeah,
thinking
Dan
Maria
agrees.
too. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. But I
Yeah.
think Maria also agrees that Wavy is probably her favorite.
They're the
too,
best
so.
subunit. Period.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know if there's
And-
a humongous argument for. I mean.
People
yeah,
can
no.
have preferences, but it's not.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
preferences
controversial
exist.
like we're not
opinion.
gonna argue among ourselves about it because all of us
Yeah,
like
no.
them the best. So like you can, it's like other people. I know a lot of people who prefer like 127 or Dream, but on this podcast, all of us
But
tend
I also
to like
don't even
Wavy
think
the
it's like
most.
that much of a controversial opinion to say that Wavy is the best unit. Like it's not even like an unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think vocally, rap line, performance, visual. I think
Dance.
I think
Amazing.
Yeah, I think they win them all. Because every time you say like, oh, what do they have, you know, Henry, Yang Yang, Lucas. Oh, they have Ten and Lucas and Win Win and Henry for
And then you have
performance.
Zaojun and Kun just handling them vocals.
Even Ten also
Even
is
10
now
too.
proving that he can do it. And then visuals, they have Henry, Xiaojun,
All
Yang
of
Yang,
them.
Lucas.
I
Kun,
think
Win
we've
Win,
said
10.
this before, but Wavy I think is one of the most well-balanced K-pop, or not. They're not
Yeah.
even really a K-pop group. One most well-balanced
groups.
groups ever.
Period.
Asian
Asian-
music groups.
Asian
group.
pop music boy group.
Asian pop groups.
Pop rap group that exists.
Period. No,
Yes.
fuck it. Groups, period. I'm opening it up to the
Groups
world.
ever.
That's true.
Groups, period.
I think I'm going to agree with that too.
We're
Come
we're
at us.
opening it
I
up
mean,
to
I'm
the
not
rest
gonna
of the
argue
One
world.
that
Direction,
either,
are you
so.
still a thing? No.
No.
What other
One Direction, NSYNC, Backstreet,
Backstreet Boys?
Menudo, get out of here.
Wavy.
Yeah.
Wavy
here.
above all.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, do you want to get
Wavy's
into
our favorite.
2020?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so 2020 just happened, and they added
A couple days ago.
Shotaro and Sungchan. That's it.
Yep.
They
And-
added them,
yeah, it's
and
essentially
now
the same as
everyone
2018.
essentially just gets now all the songs are just random assortments of people. It's whatever they want to do. Which
Each
is kind
each
of
unit
the
has
most
their own song.
interesting thing. Yeah, each unit gets their
So
own song.
Dream 127 and Wavy all have a song, but then the other songs
And
are
Mark
all
got
just
back into
random
Dream,
people.
as we said, but
Oh yeah,
it's
Mark
just-
got put back into Dream.
all the rest of the songs are just random assortment of people of whatever SM wanted to do.
And so this is only part one of this NCT 2020 thing, because this next half comes out in like a month or two, I think. Because
Yeah.
only half of the members, because there are double title tracks for this album, and so only half of them are really in the title track. The other half of the members are going to be in the title track for the second half of the album, because there are
Jesus
so many
Christ.
of them. We have to have two separate albums with double title tracks
I think
to fit
that after
everyone in.
Black on Black, they realized that having
We
Black on
can't
Black
put
had
23
18
people in a
No.
group.
21 in that. No.
No, they had 18.
18.
Yeah,
They had
18.
For 2018,
They had 18 and
Now
in
they've
2018.
added. Now there are 5 more people, so it's like, well, now we don't even know what to do here. That's too many people.
Yes, let's debut it in 2023.
I thought we were gonna have to.
They're
wait.
only allowed to
I
add
mean-
one member a year, so it is like it keeps in line with whatever year
with
it
the
is.
years. I mean, no. If they had waited like 2 months, they would have been and not added the 2 new members. They would
They
have
could
been
have done
NCT
2021, yeah.
And they could have just waited.
But nah, it's fine.
But,
We're off track now, so now it's just gonna be infinite.
It's gonna be whatever SM wants, as always.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we gonna...
Do we even want to get into discography? Because it's like,
Maybe...
do we want
Well, we
to
can
say
talk
some
about
of our
Okay,
favorite
all
songs?
right. Idea. NCTU favorite tracks. Just we're gonna highlight this. Just go through the highlights here right now. Just
What's my
I have to
favorite
highlights.
song?
Pull this up.
Mine's probably Volcano now, actually.
Okay.
Volcano or without
Wait,
without you is
Volcano?
pretty good.
For
Volcano.
NCTU, because technically NCT 2020 is NCTU.
Mm-hmm.
So favorite highlightable tracks. Mine is Make a Wish. English
NCT.
version is one of my favorite. It's one of my top K-pop songs of the year right now.
Oh, Misfit also. We're just gonna
NCT
talk about
track.
2020 because we all just listened
Also,
to that
I
album.
will highlight Without You is one of my favorite songs. I love that song.
Without You is very good.
It's a ballad, but it's not a ballad, but it's a good like vocal heavy track that NCT has very few of.
I'm trying to...
Lucas, pick a song.
I'm okay.
Don't
I
think
just
too
clicked
hard.
on NCTU on Spotify, and it doesn't have.
It's not
Boss
gonna
on
help
there.
you. It's not...
No, it doesn't even
It's
have
not.
Boss.
Oh no.
It has Baby Don't Stop special Thai version,
Oh what?
Timeless, Without You 7th Sense, and that's it.
pick one.
Oh,
pick
and
a
then
song.
some SM Station songs, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So
And
what
that-
is
two
your
we're
OSTs.
not.
what is
We're
your
not
fa-
even getting
you can-
into SM Station.
don't talk about SM
NCTU
Station right now.
releases. We're not gonna talk about that.
Nope.
Yeah, but Boss just doesn't exist apparently.
But like, what's your favorite NCT
Pick
2020
one
song?
right now.
2020? Can I not?
NCTU. You can pick
You
any
can pick
of them.
Boss. You can pick any because Boss doesn't have that
Uh,
many. You doesn't have that many songs.
Yeah, Ooh, this is a toughie.
You can
Probably
have
still 7
multiples.
cents. Probably still 7 cents.
Okay.
I do
All
love
right.
that. And then
So-
probably next is Dancing in the Rain.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite
Okay.
debut songs on.
Cool. I also really like
127
Misfits.
songs.
127 highlights of 127.
Whiplash.
Limitless is great.
No joke, regular English version is one of my favorite songs ever.
No joke.
No joke.
Regular English version is the biggest bop.
I love it
that
so
song
much.
so much.
These two, I've seen these two sing that together, and it was.
We did
Truly
karaoke
imagine
We
together.
that
that
karaoke
song.
regular English version.
That is my favorite thing we've done.
I
in a
love
long
it so
time.
much.
Also,
I did the ad libs and had so much fun.
Cherry Bomb also a banger.
Cherry Bomb is banger. I personally really like Superhuman. I know that's apparently
Yep.
not a good take. I think it's really good.
I think
but
it's a
that's
good
fine.
take. I think my take that it's horrible is a bad take. So
Okay.
I'm
I
aware that's a bad take.
have relatively negative opinions about that song.
I understand that it's a weird concept for NCT, and it was, like, from an NCT perspective, not done very well.
Yeah.
But as a song in isolation, I think it's an amazingly, very well produced track that is, like, I don't know. I think if I just took that song and, like, just listened to it in isolation and not as an NCT song, it's an amazing song, and I love it a lot. But I understand as a 127 track, it's, like,
Yeah,
very
that's why
weird and not
that's
that
like where
good.
my issues with it are anyway. So.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
If you take it in isolation as just like an actual song that's like in terms of production, performances, and like all that stuff, I think it's one of my favorite 127 tracks. But my favorite 127 track that should be a 127 track is probably one of their older things. So maybe, yeah, I think Limitless or regular English version. Also, Simon Says is a banger.
Simon Says really
Simon
good.
Says is really good.
Yeah.
Any B-sides that anyone can remember?
I like-
Whiplash.
I like Good Thing a lot.
Good Thing is really good. I also like No Longer because that's their best ballad, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can I talk about Whiplash or no?
Go ahead.
I love Whiplash.
Yep.
Such
I was
a-
like, what do you have to say, really?
What more do you want to say about it?
It's so funny. It's such a.
It's, you know what? I can't take it seriously after that video of Taeyong saying, I wrote this thinking of my sister, and I'm like, I can't.
That's
That's
a lie.
cannot.
the biggest
was a
lie that
choice
he's
to
ever
say.
said.
I'm like, I cannot.
Because he's like, oh, I can't just, talk about Shorty give me whiplash.
Shawty give
And-
me whiplash.
And it's like, okay, this song is so funny and so, like, weirdly good, where it's just, like, a really, like, tight, like, trap banger with, like, Taeil and Jaehyun just, like, vocally just insane on it. And it's like, oh, this is such a good song. It's a banger. It's kind of stupid, but I love it. And then Taeyong, yes, I wrote this about my sister. Don't worry, it's not sexual. I'm
I'm
like,
like, what?
just don't lie to us.
Oh, I also
It's
want
okay.
to point out Highway to Heaven.
Yes,
Oh,
that is
Highway
also
to
a good
Heaven's
song.
very good.
English version, I think.
English version as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Also
NCT,
about sex, but that's fine.
NCT Dream.
NCT Dream. I really like. Oh, Chewing Gum is iconic.
Iconic.
I really also like Boom. Boom is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like
think
We
I
Go
like
Up
newer-
a lot.
We Go
I
Up is
think-
good. I also liked Raiden.
I like
I don't know if
Raiden.
that's.
No, I think that's pretty fine. I like newer NCT Dream, but more than older. I don't know. I think I didn't have that. I liked NCT Dream, but it was like I just didn't really get it. And then they're growing up, and I think I prefer the more grown up concept.
Well,
But I
after
can vibe with some of
after
them.
the Mark
I think Boom.
graduation song, they're
Yeah.
just doing like generic
They've
boy
just
group
gone
stuff
full-
now.
Yeah,
they
which is
went
why I think I
full
like
boy group.
generic boy group.
Yeah.
More than you
I think
like.
I like generic boy group more
like
than I like
overly cute.
more than
overly
cutie.
cute. Like I have sweet tooth now, or like
Mm-hmm.
I have like a toothache from how bad, like how
Aw.
just super cute this is. So I have to be in a mood to enjoy it, whereas generic boy group I can just enjoy whatever, and it's really because they're beyond talented, so
Yeah.
they can do generic boy group very 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 well, and thus are not generic because they're
Yeah,
So-
this is very good. And then for B-sides, I think
I
we have to
don't- I-
mention Drippin'.
Okay, to be
We
honest, I
have
haven't
to-
Okay.
listened to a single NCT Dream B-side.
I have. So
Drippin'.
I, will
I think
take over
Drippin' is
this.
Drippin' is the highlight.
The highlight.
It is the highlight. It is the
Drippin'
thing that we
is
must
a
talk about.
choice.
Drippin' love, 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 we drippin' love.
Drippin',
It's like-
New Wolm Entertainment Boy Group.
Shush. We're not no Woolen
No.
stands here. SM only.
SM only for today. Also, want to mention Stronger and
I think I've heard
Dungshu,
that.
Nice.
Hello,
which is very cute.
only person who actually listens to NCT Dream.
I like
Does everyone
NCT
want to just
Dream.
say their favorite song on the NCT 2018 album?
Touch.
2018, probably Touch.
Mine's probably Black on Black.
Is that even a song?
It is a
Yeah,
song.
it's a song. You can listen to it as a song.
It is
it's
a
on
song.
Spotify. It is a song.
Does it count as a song?
It's a
just
song.
like
Yes.
noises,
Please.
and then Mark Taeyong and Lucas go whoop 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 for a little bit, and have
I
like
almost
2
don't want to
lines,
say
and that's
this,
it.
but Wavy, all of them,
All of
just
it.
every
Yeah,
single
no.
song they've ever made, all of them. Love
Yeah,
Talk.
I think just all of
Um,
them.
I
Turn
love
Back
Oh,
the
let's
Battle
talk English
Live.
version.
Take
Battle
Off.
Live, one of my
Moonwalk.
favorite songs of this year, Battle Live.
One of
Not
my
the English version. We don't talk about that one.
Not
I
the
think that's the only
English version.
blemish on on Wavy's track record is Battle
Battle
Live
Live
version.
English.
but all of them are great. After Midnight is one of my favorite songs of this year. Domino,
Electric
Electric
Hearts.
Hearts,
Electric
yeah.
Hearts.
That whole
Unbreakable.
album, the
That whole
Awaken the World
album's
album,
amazing.
literally amazing.
Like, even if you go back to their older album, like, their version of Regular, other than the meme
Oof.
that is the English version of Regular, this version, the Chinese version of Regular, I think is the best.
Also, the music
musically.
video for Chinese Regular, amazing.
Oh,
So
Absolutely
good.
stunning.
so good.
Dream Launch is really good. I'm just going through their Spotify right now.
We're just gonna literally we
King of
have to move on
Hearts.
before
Love
we are just
Talk, Face to
listing
Face,
We go, no,
King
no,
of
no.
Hearts.
all of
We're
them.
just saying every single song that exists.
Every
That's
Wavy
Let
song.
Me Love You. The Chinese Comeback. It's
All right,
it's all amazing.
all
All
of
right.
them.
Okay,
All of the
everyone
above.
now list their favorite song on NCT 2020.
Oh, that's
Because we have just listened to this not that long ago, and it's fresh in everyone's
We've
mind.
had long conversations about this album.
We have.
Make a
Make
Wish
a Wish
English version.
birthday song is obviously very good.
Make a Wish birthday song English version is my favorite song on that.
I
album.
love it so much. It's so good.
I love everything about it so
NCT
much.
English songs continue to be iconic.
They continue to
think
be
they're
bops,
iconic.
man.
Can I-
I love Misfit a lot.
Yeah,
Misfits is
I
also
love
good.
Dancing in the Rain. It's still probably my favorite.
All
I
right.
don't know why I love that song so much.
Nice.
So now that we're done with the long history and discography section,
hmm
I think
Back
we're
to the
no-
actual concept of first contact.
now to the actual point of this video.
It only
What
took us
was
40 minutes.
the first contact you had with NCT? Again, I was into K-pop by this point. I knew about NCT. I heard SM was debuting a boy group, and anytime SM does anything, you're like, well, it's probably gonna be at least decent. Let's see what happens. And then I was also in from the point that everybody was not convinced that this group was going to actually stick to their concept. Because SM has this bad habit of making concepts and then dropping them. For
Yes.
example, Super Junior was supposed to be a graduation system with no fixed units.
And that
People were
was
not happy about
immediately
that.
thrown out the window.
And thus they abandoned that after Elves threatened to buy stock in the company. And then they were just like, never mind, it's a fixed unit. EXO had EXO-M and EXO-K. One in doing the same songs in 2 different languages. Then SM fucked that up by mistreating their Chinese members. And so that abandoned. Then they're trying to do another weird concept with this group, and everyone's like, it'll last a year, and then it'll be a fixed unit, and then it'll be whatever again. And here we are 4 years later, and we're still it's still happening. And I'm like,
I would
damn, SM,
still,
you stuck to your guns
like,
this time.
to point out how funny it is, though, that they're 2 fixed units, 127 and Dream. Dream was meant to be a rotating unit, is now a fixed unit. NCT, the fixed unit, has had like 5 member lineup changes over the course of their time as a group.
Look, I never said SM was going to be completely okay with this, but it's more sticking to
It's
a
more-
concept than
it's
they
more
ever
than it
have
has
with
in the
any of
past.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would agree.
So, like, I've been into... NCT has been a journey to, like, actually... I'm now convinced SM will keep this as... will actually stick to this concept. Will SM ever debut another boy group again?
No, they're
Maybe
just
not.
all NCT.
Maybe it'll just
They're
have
all
an
NCT.
87-member NCT.
We're gonna get
All right.
There's a
55-member
70-member
NCT.
70
Kayla.
people in this fucking group.
Yeah. So when NCT debuted was in 2016 was like the peak of me first getting into K-pop. So I was like very aware of like everything that was happening in K-pop that year. So I was following them since SM started releasing. They were debuting a new boy group with everything with NCT and the weird concept and whatever. So that was like I was literally like hearing about them like as they were, so the concept for them was being announced and formed. So like Without You and Seventh Sense were like the first things I ever heard from them. And then I started watching. It wasn't until later that year that I started really getting into the group itself, but their actual debut and their like debut songs or NCTU were the first things I had heard from them.
Lucas?
And for me, the first song that I heard, because I got into K-pop like late 2017, early 2018, so I obviously was not there for their debut. So the first song that I heard of them was Limitless. And then I kind of backtracked and kind of tried to catch up, and then I got into 127, and then I found out that You existed and was confused and then didn't understand what was going on. But yeah, probably Limitless was the first like of them I heard, and then I caught up on everything pretty quickly, and then mostly understood the concept and like what was going on.
I will
But
say
yeah.
that I can't imagine what it's like jumping into NCT in like Cherry
Impossible.
Bomb era or like not at the debut, because when you're at the debut, like you're hearing it and it's like that's how the group's starting off, so it's easier to digest
And, like, you
the whole
follow
concept.
it from... Like, once you follow it from debut, it kind of all falls into place slowly. You're
Yeah.
like... Because, again, I was under the genuine belief that this was going to last maybe 2 years and then SM was going to abandon this concept like they always do. So, like,
couldn't
I understood
imagine
the concept.
jumping in at NCT
Yeah.
at like NCT 2018 and trying to
Like, no,
understand
can you
like
imagine
what is
now
happening.
people jumping in
Yeah.
right now? It's like, well,
Yeah,
fuck.
I jumped in
Was
on
that like
Black
kind
on
of
Black,
well, that's the one
and that was not
yeah,
fun.
No, that's like when Dan
No.
Dan jumped in NCT recently, does not understand how it works
Dan
at all.
still
Any of
doesn't
it.
understand
He
NCT,
jumped in on
but-
Wavy. He jumped in like post Wavy.
Yeah, and
like,
it's just like I
halfway
can't even
through, like,
imagine trying to understand
like-
NCT then.
He's like Wavy's like third comeback is like, ah yes, now let me begin NCT, and then
It's like,
just
we'll have a
cries
fun time
and
with that.
Good
it's
luck.
like good luck. Yeah, I started
Well, the
in
other thing
yeah
with NCT is you
2018
can
with Black on
almost-
Black, and that was impossible.
Well, the other thing with NCT is luckily because of the way the units are set up, you could almost sort of ignore. You could
You.
almost treat them like separate groups. Wavy is Wavy.
Like you can,
Dream
I know
is
people who
Dream,
stand like 127
is
and like don't care
127.
about Dream or like
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can treat them as separate groups. It's really only with this like these big comebacks that you actually are confronted with the concept of
Yeah.
what NCT is. Cuz
That was a big problem with before this, well before at least before Wavy, because you know Kun and Ten were just like in the ether, like not actually like members of
Yeah, they're
like a
they're
fixed
they're
group.
members of
So-
NCT, but in the
So yeah, I think
vague
now
sense
that
of
like
the word.
every member except for the brand new ones are like in a fixed group, it's much more like, okay, they're in this and this is where they are, and then they also kind of do stuff together, like they kind of move around.
Really,
but if
the
you just like
only
you can
people
learn
who
like
have-
4 groups technically
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just be like,
Because
okay.
really, what you can do is, other than Mark and Haechan, everyone else is really... Because I don't even really want to count you as a group, because that they
You is not
rarely
a
No,
did
group.
that's
anything.
stupid.
You is not a
You
group.
doesn't count. But counting the main groups, other than Haechan and Mark, everyone is only in one unit. Thus,
Yeah.
you don't really have to... and really, Mark is
And
now
then
only
considering
in
Win-Win was
127,
kicked out
and
of
Haechan goes back
127.
and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. Haechan's the only one that's consistently
Doing multiple...
in 2 groups and has
consistently
been.
Yeah.
does multiple units
Because Mark
now.
at
Yes.
a time was only technically in 127, so
and then got added to that,
Mhm.
and then debuted in U like 3 times or something like that. So
Oh, we don't. We could do an
Poor
episode
boy.
about the many debuts.
and then
Of just
Super M,
Mark.
and then
Don't. No.
Sammy. What was your knee slapping moment?
Chewing gum. Because look, 7 Cents was good. I really love Without You, but I only got into Without You later. Fire Truck, I have my feelings of Fire Truck has changed and evolved over time. I go back and forth on whether or not I like that song, and have for years now. Chewing Gum is amazingly so funny and amazing and adorable that I had to get somewhat invested. I was laughing so hard, but also endeared to these boys. And then from there, I was sort of casually into NCT for a while, and then at some point, I think after, like around regular Simon Says era of 127, I was like, okay, I think I like all of NCT. Let's just learn all of them over a 2-month period. And that's how I learned all of NCT, over 2 months, and then Wavy happened, and that casually 4 more people got added to the brain, 3 more people, and now it's really easy to learn the members of NCT if you've been into NCT for a long time.
Yeah, if you're only learning like 2 or 3 at a time, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
It does.
Because I learned 18 around, like... So I think I learned 18 of them at NCT 2018. And then added the 3 Wavy members. Easy enough. And then you add the 2 more. That's sort of the easy way to learn it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
If you're trying to learn them now, good luck.
Have fun learning 23 people. So my knee slapping moment's a little bit weird. It was a day I was just on YouTube, and I swear to God, I either misclicked the video or I was just really bored. But I was recommended a compilation of like cute Win-Win moments, and it was like early debut era Win-Win where he can like barely speak Korean.
Win-Win, early debut era Win-Win is essentially
my favorite thing ever.
Is essentially
I love him
communicating
so
with
much.
everyone through charades.
Yeah,
And,
he
like,
cannot
one-word sentences.
speak Korean.
It's the most endearing, cutest thing I've ever seen.
He is the cutest, and I saw this compilation and I fell in love with him, and like, this is the most adorable human being on this planet. I love him so much. And so after that, I learned all the members of 127 because I was already listening to like you and 127 songs anyway, and I like generally enjoyed them. And then this was when I decided I'm just gonna go learn all the members. And so then I learned the members of the ones who debuted in NCTU initially, and then 127. And then I don't think I learned Dream until like a couple of months before 2018 happened. And then I learned Lucas Jungwoo Kun at 2018, and then it took me like 6 months after Wavy's debut before I actually learned the 3 new members of Wavy. And then I learned the newer 2, Sungchan and Chodoro, recently.
Again, it's really easy to learn those 2 if you have the other
It's so much
21
easier
down.
when
It's
you're
so
only
easy.
learning 3 people at a
2
time.
people.
It's really nice.
It took me I didn't learn Dream until I learned all 18 members of NCT at once with NCT 2018, which took me, I think, 1 to 2 months to do. Like, not
watched,
like actively.
They have an
but, like,
NCT
a
Life
lot.
with NCT Dream, and that's when I finally
Yeah, but I'm
learned
also
them.
terrible with names. I still don't know 4 members of Pentagon.
You don't.
Which
This
is
is a
just not gonna happen. So, like, I need a lot of time to learn people.
Yeah, I think for me it took probably about the same, like 2 months or so. I kind of just fell in love with NCT, and then literally only watched like their variety or like content from them for a while, and then eventually just by like listening, watching videos, and like, you know, being invested in, you know, the community, I was like, okay, I think I got all of these people now. And that was at 2018. And then after that it was pretty easy because, you know, Wavy was added. It was like, oh, I only have 3
Only
more.
3 other.
And now 2 more, and then that's easy.
Watching the variety stuff is how I learned the names.
Yeah, no,
generally.
watching
I don't
the variety
learn
stuff
it.
is The only
I don't
good thing
learn it
about
through
SM groups is
the
that there's
songs
so
or
much
anything.
variety stuff. Like,
Yeah, they
do-
go
they
on
do a
every
lot.
show. They have so much. There's so much content.
Wavy has a
But, like,
full
it's-
variety show, reality
Yeah.
show
NCT
thing. That's
daily.
how I learned the Wavy members.
Yeah, Wavy has their stuff too.
I
And,
learned
like-
NCT Dream through. They had a NCT Life that was only Dream, plus like Shinjong or Super Junior was also there for some reason, and that's how I learned the
Hey,
Dream members.
They need parental supervision.
Yeah.
Shintang was there as parental supervision.
Oh, and I think Lee Tuck was also there. It was like there was just
More
random
parental
members
supervision.
of Super
I
Junior.
mean,
yeah.
I want to point out that Lee Took has apparently also raised a baby with Sistar. Like, this boy has raised
He
children.
has. Yep.
I think once Boom came out, I finally learned Dream.
Dream
I was
is
like-
surprisingly... I found Dream surprisingly much easier to learn than 127.
Yeah, I think, what is it? I don't know if this should be... Okay, never mind. I'm not going to say what I said.
We can edit it out.
Okay, I just want to say that, like, in 127, there's, like, obviously people who are, pushed, and there's people who are less pushed, and learning those members is a lot harder. And whereas in Dream, it's a little bit more evenly, like, you can hear everyone's voices, like, more consistently.
Yeah.
The, like, line distribution in 127 is a little harder to, hear everyone's voices, and
I
then you,
forget
like,
Jungwoo
you don't
is there.
distinctly...
I think Jungwoo is
Constantly.
just like existing there.
Jungwoo
Yeah, and then
disappeared
what is
for,
it?
like,
Yuta,
3
like, I don't
weeks.
hear his, like, specific voice enough to,
No.
like,
don't
remember
give him
his
lines.
voice.
If
and then
if
remember...
Win
yeah.
Win wasn't the person who got me into 127, like I would have zero idea who Win Win is, because he's just not.
Dan
there.
has no idea who Win-Win
He's
is.
not there.
He only knows him because...
We
Wavy.
talk about Win-Win constantly because we love
I
him.
and
love
Wavy.
him.
And we love Wavy. And he also has more lines in Wavy.
He does.
Yeah,
he gets
'cause
actual
he
lines.
speaks
in
the
Wavy now,
language.
which is very happy. I'm so excited
Because he can
for him.
speak the language pretty well.
So,
My knee slapping moment was the famous/infamous NCT versus the Korean language. But it's not a trilogy anymore. It's what's after a trilogy? There's 4 of them.
the Saga?
I have
Saga? Is that
zero,
what it is?
no idea. Literally
Okay,
no
Just
idea.
a
well, whatever
saga.
it's the saga now. Okay, the saga of the NCT versus the Korean language videos. Because those videos, just, I think, as someone, I am also bilingual, and so the emotion of watching people like Win Win be on Variety and have to do charades with a language they do not speak is one of the saddest things I've ever seen, and made my heart, like, absolutely break for these members. And then it's like, yes, we're on the bus. What should we do? We should play Korean word games, because that's the thing we should do when our foreign members who barely speak Korean. Let's just make fun of them. And then the video of Win Win being like, I'm Chinese, I can't do this, and then just crying is amazing. And then Lucas, my spirit animal, my K-pop spirit animal, just being a mess, not being able to speak Korean either. I think just the energy of, not being able to communicate with people just made me fall in love with the people, because, it's just such a...
That's literally what
It's
got me
such an
into
emotion.
NCT because of
It's
Win
a
Win. Because
mood.
Win Win just struggling to just communicate when he can't speak Korean.
With anyone. But the other
And then-
fun thing is, like, some of the, like, Mark cannot speak either English or Korean.
Mark
No, he
can
cannot.
barely speak
'Cause-
any
Mark can
language
barely
because
function.
he knows too many languages that he can't actually speak any of them.
But then there's 10 who speaks 8 languages.
I mean, Lucas speaks,
and then
like,
can
5.
speak all of them. He
It's
can
like
speak
they can
5?
speak, I think,
Henry and
Lucas
Yang
can-
Yang both speak 4.
4, and I think Lucas
10 is
claims he can
F5?
speak Thai because his mom is Thai.
Yeah, but what is it? Bam Bam and 10 have both said it is very bad.
Yeah.
Well,
But he does actually speak Cantonese, Mandarin, and Korean.
and,
And-
English.
A
English.
mediocre amount of English, yeah.
He
Yeah,
speaks
good enough.
decent
I'll
English.
give it
Good
to
enough.
him. I'll give him
I'll give it to
English.
him too. But then, yeah, 10 speaks Japanese, Mandarin, Thai, and English, like, next to fluently. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I think just the...
I don't know. Hearing 10 struggle to
Sepslingual.
learn the Mandarin language when he was just slotted into
Oh, when he was
Wavy
when he
has
shoved
been
into
hila-
Wavy
has
with
been
everyone,
adorable.
yeah.
And then Henry being like, hey, good job, you got the right word. And then being, like, so helpful and wholesome. Yeah, I love
There's a
I
really
love
there's
the
a really funny moment in
interactions.
the Wavy variety show where Ten uses the fact that he can't understand Mandarin to his advantage, where he's like, "Oh, I didn't understand the rules of this game," and then he just like double crosses everyone. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's very funny. They just use their language as just a constant. It's amazing. But the fact that I think Yuta can speak Korean better than some of the actual Koreans.
Then like Mark or Johnny.
Japanese. Like
Yeah,
Mark and Johnny are just like, and like Yuta's just like, no, it's fine. Like this is just the Korean. He's taken to speaking Korean so.
Oh yeah, also
surprisingly
Renjun,
well.
right?
Yeah,
Renjun's
Renjun
Korean
can
is
speak
Korean
insane.
very
very
well.
good Korean.
Yeah, Renjun's Korean is better than I think Johnny and Mark's Korean.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
like, oh.
Yes.
It's like, wait, aren't you both supposed to
Both
be?
of them
you know,
are
like-
actually Korean.
Both of them are actually Korean.
And it's like, yes, Renjun is like, isn't there that famous moment where like he knows the word for jade in Korean or whatever, and Mark's just like, what?
Wow.
How do you know that?
What
And
is
he's like,
this?
I studied hard and I am very smart. And everyone's like, oh, Renjun. The vocabulary. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it so much. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that like super got me into it was watching them in their
just-
language.
I will
struggle.
say that the content made about NCT, I think it's just because there's so many people, and with so many people, you can have so many individual moments that you're not watching the same 5 moments over and over and over
I
again.
will get into holes of
content's
just
amazing.
watching NCT crack videos because there's
They're
so many of
amazing.
them
Oh,
and
they're
they're
so
I
amazing.
could
funny.
spend an evening doing that, and I might do it after we record. After we
Yeah, that
finish this.
might be what happens today.
That might be what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, we NCT is just a very fun group.
And then to wrap it up on why you should stan, I think
Lucas,
Lucas
you actually have a reason for
the
this?
only person with an actual reason.
Because I love watching their septilingual mess. And the music's really good, and all of the members individually, I think, all have their unique charm, and I think it's the only place where you can get a real, like, I don't know, because 23 people, you don't get that. They have that unique thing of being, literally 23 people that all have to come together. It's like, I don't know, I love that like specific environment that obviously you cannot get anywhere else is like really fun. I do like the music they make. I love the people. And yeah, 7 languages in one K-pop group is very funny. And I love listening to that. Sammi, just say what you put down on the script, and then Kayla say what you put down.
Before me and Sammi say our reason, is I would like to say every group that we make these episodes about, we like their music and
Yes.
them
Yeah.
as
That's
a group,
why
and so
we're
we wouldn't be
taking the time to
making
do
these
this.
groups if we didn't like them.
Okay.
So
the reason I put down is please
don't. It's
Don't
a bad
do it.
idea.
Come on.
It's a lot.
Don't put
It's,
yourself through
if you
this.
want to stand
Look-
NCT, you are in for a lot.
go ahead.
Like,
You're in for a
If you're starting now.
if you
you're
are jumping into
starting now.
NCT, no idea what is happening
Oh.
right now, good luck. It's a lot.
Look, we do these a lot for rookie groups, and like that's cute, and like that's dipping your toe into the water. This is throwing you in a cage and like dumping you in the shark tank. So like,
It's a
good
lot.
luck and have fun.
You're gonna have to deal with 4 units and 23 members and trying to understand just
and
basically
like,
how
4
NCT
years of
works.
in-jokes and 4
Like,
years of
have fun.
history, and just good luck.
It will be fun.
It will
if
be
you decide
it will
to
be
stand.
a journey, and it will
You're just in
consume
for
your
a
life
lot.
for months.
You're in for a lot if you decide
Mm-hmm.
to stand. Just a warning. It's just more of a warning more than anything.
You may not know what you're actually getting yourself into.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guarantee that you don't. Like you can't. You just don't know it.
You have no idea until you're like sitting here and trying like staring at members and units and trying to understand like how it works, and it just doesn't, because it doesn't
You
make
were
sense
just-
anyway.
yeah.
Because there are no
Because
rules to anything.
there's no logic to it because it's
Yeah.
SM entertainment. So like the problem
Yeah.
will be like you will have all of the necessary rules, but you're trying to make them fit into a puzzle that does not have logic to it. You'll feel like you've
Yeah.
just like gone down the rabbit hole and there's just nothing you can do.
But anyway, this was our first contact for NCT. Also, alert for the future, me and Sammi are going to continue to hijack Dan's show in the future.
Hell yeah. Oh, do we want to give a teaser for November?
Oh, we should give a teaser for November. So
Yay.
we are planning a Asian drama November. So every episode releasing in November is gonna be Asian drama themed. So woo woo.
Yay.
So thank you all for watching this probably longer than normal episode of First Contact. If you are listening to us on YouTube, we are also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all of the podcasting sites. If you're listening to us on there, we also have a YouTube channel where we post all of our episodes along with a lot of fun clip compilation videos that we are having a lot of fun making. We also have a Twitter account at Slappin Kpop and an Instagram account that will get used soon. I promise we will
have
post
to
on it
start
soon.
doing this at some point.
Procrastination is one of our
Look, we all have
Key.
full-time jobs. It's
Posts
fine.
will be made on the Instagram.
This is our
at
fifth
some
job
point.
at this point.
it is an Instagram that exists and will
The
be
Instagram
used in the
We
exists
future,
have
and
one
it will
maybe,
be
video.
used.
We
probably.
have a picture
There
on
are
it.
2 posts on the Instagram right now.
There's 2
It's
of
fine.
them.
But yes, that is it for today's episode, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.